Hello everyone, Omnify here, and in this video, I will explain why Lord Voldemort was not able to read Snape's mind, and he never had suspected Snape of betraying him. Even though he may have had his doubts, at the end of the day, he trusted Snape and believed Snape was on his side, on the side of the Death Eaters. So the answer is very simple. And I'll first explain about mind reading in the wizarding world. So the power of reading the mind of another person is called legilimency. Okay, and to be a legilimens, it means you're able to read minds and practice or do. Legilimency. Then the power to block the mind reading is called occlumency. And if you are an occlumens, you're able to do occlumency. Okay? So, Voldemort is described as the most powerful, strongest legilimens in the wizarding world. Okay? He's able to read anyone's mind. And Snape is described as a very powerful occlumens, okay? Because you guys have to understand, out of like all the characters in the book, Snape is a very strong wizard. Like, I believe at the top it is Dumbledore, and then after him it is Grindelwald, who we have learned a lot about in the last book, in the Deathly Hallows. And then at number 3 it is Voldemort, and then at 4 I put Snape. Okay, so but even though Snape is a very powerful occlumens, the ability of Voldemort and his power as a legilimens, it should outweigh the power and strength of Snape as an occlumens. Okay? So in other words, because Voldemort is his powers are stronger, he should be able to read the mind of Snape. However, he can't. And the reason as to why he can't, and as I explained in my last video, and I'll leave a link to it at the end of this one. However, the reason as to why Voldemort is not able to read the mind of Snape is because Voldemort is not able to understand love. He's incapable of love, as I explained in my last video. And the whole motivation of Snape as to why he's on the side of Dumbledore protecting Harry, because he had loved and still loves Harry's mother. Okay? And Voldemort, as we know, had killed Harry's parents. Okay? So, because Snape, his whole motivation is off of love, and Voldemort is not able to understand love, it's the key reason as to why Voldemort is not able to suspect or see Snape as a traitor. And it also is why Dumbledore, he puts his faith in Snape to do all these tasks, to go in front of the Dark Lord and the Death Eaters, and where he could be killed at any moment if he is suspected of being a traitor. So Snape, who's a spy on both sides, he is putting himself at risk. Every day he is putting himself in mortal danger. But it is Dumbledore who knows, because Voldemort isn't able, he's incapable of love, and he's unable to understand it. He knows that him as a legitimate, Voldemort as a legitimate, he won't ever be able to read the true motivations of Snape, all which are off of love of Harry's mother. And that's why Voldemort's not able to read the mind of Snape. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.